nothing on my monitor here. It's okay, I can see the other.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that afterwards. They're plugged in, but they're not coming on.
Looks like you're already started. Good morning and welcome to Dawn Mountain Sunday Meditation for January 25th, 2025. Glad to see you three could make it out, even in the weather. And for those of you online, we appreciate your coming too. We're passing around. Is the other camera working too? Okay. Oh, I see. We're passing around the book of names that will dedicate our merit of our practice today. And of course, for those of you online, you can put names in the chat so that they can be put in. So I just ask that write as legibly as you can so I can read the names, and that'll be a big help to me. So let's all silence our devices. And so to set our intention, we have some group practice prayers. We start with the aspirations and a short piece from Shantideva, Way of the Bodhisattva. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. So our practice, the purpose of our practice is to help develop our attention, mindfulness, by letting go of discursive thoughts and other distractions just so we can be in the present. Before I go any farther, I wanted to mention yesterday I got an email. There's a magazine, Tricycle, the Buddhist Review. You might have seen it. I subscribe to it, and they have a thought for the day they call the Daily Dharma. You don't have to subscribe to the magazine to get the email. So if you just go to tricycle.com, I don't know why it's not .org, I guess it's a commercial operation. But it's not a temple. At any rate, you can sign up for these daily Dharma, and you'll get these short pieces. The one yesterday was resting on your breath, which is exactly what we're about to do. And this says it's creative to arrange our attention in a different way than we do habitually. Imagine just resting on your breath. That sounds insane to a lot of people, maybe impossible, maybe attractive. People usually like it. They may even have a few moments of respite and tremendous gratitude. And I was pleasantly surprised that this came from Anne, who's not here today. But anyway, there was an article in the magazine in 2022, and it actually came from a podcast. And these podcasts are free anywhere you get your podcast. So Ritual as an Opening to Love was the title of the podcast. I printed it out and read over it. I haven't read the whole thing, but I did notice that at the bottom there was a link to share it with anybody else. So even though you can't, if you're not a subscriber, there was a click here to read the article, and I went to that. If you're not a subscriber, then you can't go straight to the article. But as a subscriber, there was a button for I can share this for free with other people. If anybody feels comfortable giving me their email address, I can send you the link to the article and you can read the whole thing. So back to today's practice. As usual, we're going to do some resting on our breath, silent meditation, and we'll do some chanting of the sacred syllable, merging with the sound and feeling it throughout our whole bodies. So we start by sitting erect, not stiff. Just find a good balance of front to back and left to right so you're not having to hold yourself up. In this tradition, we usually leave our eyes open in a soft focus down in front of us at about 45 degrees. If you prefer to have your eyes closed, that's fine too, if you can stay awake. If you find yourself sleepy, opening your eyes is good. And if you've already got them open, you can raise your gaze up to horizontal or something to help wake up. So we have three pillars of support. One is the earth that we're sitting on through the cushion or the seat or whatever. And we have our spinal column, which holds our body erect. And right in front of the spinal column is our central energy channel that carries energy all the way from the dough, which is a point down right below our navel and inside a few inches, all the way up through the crown of our head. So we'll start with a few minutes of the silent meditation, just resting on our breath, and then we'll do some chanting. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, just to let everything settle. Your hands can either be on your thighs or on your knees, or resting in your lap with your right hand on top of your left hand. Now just simply rest your attention on your breath, following the in-breath and the out-breath. And when you inevitably, your mind will wander and you'll think of something else. It may not be immediately, but at some point you'll realize that your mind has wandered, and we just gently bring it. We might say thinking, to let go of that thought and come back to resting our attention on our breath. And it's actually bringing our attention back that is the whole of the practice. Now we'll shift to the chanting portion of our meditation. We chant the sacred syllable Hung, Hoong, twice with each out breath. It's not really in sync with each other. We just at our own pace. Hung, hung, We'll now go back to the silent meditation, resting our attention on our breath. Hung, 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 One more time, let's go back to resting our attention on our breath. Now you can stretch for a minute. So every week we read a chapter from Pema Chudran book, Comfortable with Uncertainty. Today is chapter 86, 6 Ways to be Lonely. Usually we regard loneliness as an enemy. It's restless and pregnant and hot with the desire to escape and find something or someone to keep us company. When we rest in the middle of it, we begin to have a non-threatening relationship with loneliness, a cooling loneliness that turns our usual fearful patterns upside down. There are 6 ways of describing this kind of cool loneliness. Less desire is the willingness to be lonely without resolution when everything is in us yearns for something to change our mood. Contentment means that we no longer believe that escaping our loneliness is going to bring happiness or courage or strength. Avoiding unnecessary activities means that we stop looking for something to entertain us or to save us. Complete discipline means that at every opportunity we're willing to come back to the present moment with compassionate attention. Not wandering in the world of desire is about relating directly with how things are without trying to make them okay. Not seeking security from one's discursive thoughts means no longer seeking the companionship of constant conversation with ourselves. She calls it loneliness. I guess that's as good a word as any. I get kind of restless sometime when I'm looking for, bored. I just get looking for some kind of stimulation to let go of whatever I'm in. But really, the whole idea of coming back to the present moment with compassionate attention seems to be good. It's probably healthier than me going to the pantry and looking for a brownie or Cheetos. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Anybody else have any thoughts or experience? Yeah.
She said something about
Wait,
entertainment.
just a sec. Let him get the microphone to you. And he can pick up the book while he's here.
There's something about entertainment that was mentioned in there, and based off of what you were saying too, I noticed that I always have to have, like in life, when there's pauses or moments of silence, I always have to be like reaching for a podcast, or every time I drive in my car, I have to be listening to something. Anytime I'm doing some chores around the house, same thing, I have to have a podcast on. There's like very little moments in my life where I just let silence happen. And I was thinking about that today, actually, so it's kind of funny that that was the topic of just how do you not, I mean, especially like my generation with social media and everything, there's just, even eating food, people have to be scrolling on their phone while eating a meal. There's always something to be doing.
That's a good observation. I think he wanted to say something.
No, I was just musing at being compassionate to the guy who's like, the guy being me, like opening a thing of Cheetos because he's bored, and
Yeah.
I like returning to self with compassion regardless of where self is.
Yeah. Anybody online? Nancy?
Sure. Someone in the therapy world taught me that boredom is the tiniest bit of aversion. And that's been really helpful to me because when I look at it as aversion rather than boredom, I get further. because loneliness, we have this desire aversion continuum balance is so impossible. I mean, clearly there would be a balance between aversion and attraction, but I haven't ever found it. But loneliness, boredom is like loneliness, and I don't want loneliness. And loneliness without I don't want loneliness isn't loneliness. Actually, it disappears. I seldom get there, but I think it's an interesting thing I play with.
Okay, thanks. I also happened to see an interesting thought this week. Would you make sure that mic is turned off? Thank you. That solitude is being by yourself, but you can be lonely in a group of people. If you don't feel any connection with them or feel out of place, or you'd just rather be doing something else than what they're doing, what they're talking about. So, yeah, this was a good topic this week.
Yeah, the being alone in a crowd. My early 20s, I spent a couple months on the Appalachian Trail and kind of into solitude and just trying to hike by myself and get a lot of alone time. And then I realized like whatever I was seeking, I found. And I ended up eventually in New York City. And I found that same solitude, even though I was surrounded by thousands and thousands of people, you could walk through that and still find solitude and peace. That same thing that I found out in the middle of nowhere, I was able to find it in the most densely packed place ever.
That's good. Let's see. All right, let's do another short practice just to settle before we do the dedication. And just a silent resting on our breath, coming back to ourselves. Should, the dedication? Thank you. And before we read this, can we have the dedication up on the screen? By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, every one, to reach to that very ground. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom, shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. Today we dedicate the merit of our practice to all sentient beings, and especially to Lupe Ortiz in Bardo, the Jackson family, Dennis, Sean, Lauren, victims of deportation, victims of Russia, the Kohler family, David, Greg Morris, Thomas, victims of the California wildfires. Now, in unison, we will say the sacred syllable Ah to send out positive energy all over the universe. If you're online, you can unmute yourself to merge your voice with all of ours. So normally we would have announcements at this time. I know that we've started a new Tuesday teaching series, I guess this week. So it's the first and third Tuesday of every month. And you can look that up at dawnmountain.org. I like it. It's a good teaching. And it's sort of some basic Buddhism. It's not very advanced. Don't feel that it would be over your head or anything like that. If you haven't already, you can sign up for give your email to Dawn Mountain, and you'll get a monthly newsletter and reminders about calendar changes and stuff like this. I believe this Friday, we're having here a potluck Losar. Is that right? Yeah, the last Friday of the month, the new year. So if you can make it in, that's great. There'll be a dinner, sharing of food, whatever, if you're able to come in. I don't know that it's going to be online. I came last year, but it was on Saturday. It's easier for me to come in on the weekend than it is during the week. Oh, also the Teaching Tuesday is in person, except this week it was frozen, so we didn't ask anybody to come in. Thanks for being safe, and I guess we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming. Oh, and I mentioned earlier, before some of you were here, about the article from Anne, and it was about The ritual and a lot of what we do brings us back to our present self and helps us to remember to not be avoiding, not trying to avoid ourselves. All right, thanks again.